Brothers and a brofist to you all! Drama has landed on us once again, because that, you know what it means, don't you? It's the end of the week, it's Friday afternoon, and everything in our world, right, Chris, is going swimmingly. It's not like we had a week where I proved once again that I am the master of stealth, that I am literally a shadow crawling through the mud, and you wouldn't even see me until it was too late before I stepped foot into that blind. And we also freed someone from a joy-filled world, and then we started taking care of a baby, and then, you know, we got nothing out of our vault in World of Warcraft at all. It's just been a week. It's just been a week, and I was bullied this week. I was bullied by kindness as we finally did it. The chat got its way. The audience as a whole got its way, and Chris's new PC has been ordered, and it is on its way, and it's better than mine, and that pisses me right off, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not how this boat is supposed to sail. That's not how I'm supposed to be the captain of this situation, but it is happening. It is all happening. That has just been the past 5 days. And not only that, we found redemption. Redemption for Fingal. His elitist ways squashed as he becomes a new man in response to your outcries of his millionaire ways, just throwing his gold to the wind. That man had too much, and now he's becoming one with the harmony. The Findemption is underway, and we're all going to be one happy family. There is no redemption. There is no redemption for him. It is too far. He's gone. He's sunken too low. I think we can bring him back. We can bring him back into the fold. It's going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be fine. But that's not why you're here today, because of course we're going to finish this week off with some wonderful drama and an amazing video for you tonight, where we went back, thanks to Bex, who did some tremendous research, and graphs were made and all kinds of stuff, into what were the problems like 5-6 expansions ago, at this exact time in World of Warcraft's history. What were we bothered about back then? What were the silly things that got us all caught up and angry, and the good things that lurked back in, say, Mists of Pandaria, in the first month of Mists of Pandaria? I'd be surprised if many of you remember, because I didn't. I didn't remember what the big problems were back in Mists of Pandaria in that first month, and I was surprised to relearn them and refresh them. So I think it's a video you guys are going to get a big kick out of. Dailies were on there, but that wasn't actually the biggest issue. That wasn't actually the thing that surprised all of us. Some say pandas. That's pre-Mists of Pandaria launch, is when people hated the pandas. That wasn't the issues after it came out. That wasn't the issues after it came out. And of course, we looked through all the expansions since we started Preach Gaming, all the way back then. So we got Mop in there, we got WoD in there, we got Legion in there. It's all good stuff, all good stuff. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. So you'll find that out this evening. Oh, Chris is still finishing the edit on it. That's wonderful to know. Let's have some fun, though, because it is drama time. Silent Assassin Preach, 5 stars every time, unquestionably. We were bullied somebody last drama time. We bullied him hardcore. For he doth play survival. He does. He unironically plays survival. He boasts of his DPS. He boasts of his DPS on Huntsman. I am not a meme. Who stands with him? Let me ask this wonderful audience of mine here today. Who stands with him that survival is not a meme? Who stands with him? Do you stand by his side? Do you form the wall? Do you block him? No one? Okay. Preacher, thank you for reading my little story. I feel I must follow up. After watching the court's reaction and judgment, I have accepted that I am a meme. Unlucky for those of you who stood with him, because he doesn't stand with you now. He doesn't stand with you now. Coming to this realization was a lot harder than I expected. I don't know where I went wrong. All my life I prided myself on being a stand-up dude. I've watched drama many times, and I, along with the rest of the chat, have scowled and cringed at the guilty people. Never would I have thought that I was amongst the guilty. True, I may have gone too far with my /yell wild spirits macro. Yeah. Nobody likes that. I believe my actions were relatively justified. No. /yell macros that you spam and not justified. Torios and Inglefur were major dickweeds, right? Doesn't mean you join them. Doesn't mean you join them, does it? And I did come out on top, but still your chat has assured me I am officially a meme. But I wish to embrace my memery, and I am opening the foundation for the Survival Hunters Awareness Association. For any other survival hunters, and there aren't many, believe me, I've checked, out there that may wish to join. I have accepted that fact that I myself am a meme, but this is due to me and myself only. My spec is not. Survival is not a meme. I am here to start the Survival Hunter Revolution. Why would anyone play BM? Only people who play MM are Flavor of the Month. No. To all those reading or listening, applications to join the Survival Hunters Awareness Association will be 10,000 gold, but we will sit together in harmony. Namaste. Alright, namaste. Well, I'm just saying, if you're playing the spec that works the best, that doesn't mean you're Flavor of the Month. That's not what that means. I'm sure you'll get many members. I really believe. Don't we, guys? I'm sure his little club's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely tremendous. There'll be biscuits. Everybody's going to join in. It's going to be a fun old time, right? Yeah, filthy min-maxers. Right, I have no idea. I promised this story from last week. I don't know how this works. That time, I screwed my GM out of Frostmourne. And we've got no room. I'm just going to call it Frostmourne. Because he has to mean Shadowmourne. Unless, as some predicted, we are in for a dose of roleplay. And we do love our roleplay. We do love our roleplay, don't we? We do like our fake story. It's not that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Hello, Preacher! A big, hairy, bro-knuckled fist to you and your wonderful audience. All right, he's trying to butter you guys up, so be kind, all right? Be kind. I come to you from the United States of America. I have a story for you detailing the terrible, terrible act of betrayal I inflicted on my guildmaster way back in the frozen, windy days of Wrath of the Lich King. I want to be clear to you and your audience. I do not seek forgiveness. I do not seek judgment. How did that work out for you? Unfortunate. Unfortunate. I did these things. Nothing is going to change what I did. My journey through the crafted wars of Blizzard began way back in the wee days of vanilla. I stumbled my newbie ass from level 1 to 60 with auto attacks, judgment, and the occasional hammer of wrath. Oh my god, it's a vanilla paladin, unironically. Yikes. Or as I like to call it, that piece of shit, worthless, magical beta. Now I was, fully admitted, a terrible player. Some little background before I get to the point in the far, far future / past of Wrath of the Lich King. At some point during my early days of WoW, I got it into my head. It took hold like a festering seed that it was always better to get bonus damage by putting points in improved Seal of the Righteousness, rather than wasting 1 point on Seal of Command, which isn't even the seal I use. It's fucking huge brain, by the way. Why would you spec points into a seal you don't use? Right? It's fucking stupid. So dumb. So dumb. You can put 5 points in the other one. It has to be better. Because 5 is way more than 1. For the slow members of the audience who don't know the Paladin, not only was I Alliance, but I was an Alliance Paladin with no Seal of Command, trying to ret. I was so bad I refused to use two-handed weapons because they hit too slowly. Fucking huge brain again, dude. Huge brain again. Just going for it, non-stop, right? Warriors feel the same way. Single-minded fury is the only way. It hits faster. Duh. Way more damage. I leveled entirely as a sword and board. Seal of the Righteousness Paladin. God, that experience must have been rough, bro. I actually feel bad for you. I really do. Rocking that sword and shield, I was adamant that this was how to play, as every paladin I had seen had a sword and shield. Correct. Alright, good. Everyone else who was trying to run around pretending to be warriors were a bunch of morons. Much later, though, I learned how to play. Oh, dear. But it required that I get kicked from a few Molten Core runs and a few Blackwing Lair runs. I was based out of a US server and I joined my first guild. I'll be honest, I don't remember my guildmates really well from back then. I know the guildmaster had a terminal medical condition and was also a dwarf paladin, and his sister played a dwarf priest. Their names escape me, but we managed to do some runs in AQ40 before I left very quickly and joined other guilds to try and get into what I believe was a real guild. A raid guild. A proper guild. It's a decision I regret to this day, as nearly all the guilds I jumped to since then haven't been even a quarter as fun as that one. I think now, as I sit here writing this to you, it's better to be shit and have fun with friends rather than be hard. Rather than be hard as shit super edgelord top players. It's not one or the other. Not to spoil your little fantasy, it's not one or the other. You can't just, you doesn't go like, I'm shit and happy to I'm an edgelord who's good. Or you could be good and kind of have fun as well. That happens. It's weird, but it does. It does happen. Fast forward to Wrath of the Lich King then. To the Frostmourne. Yeah, I'm an edgelord. Wait, there's a hair here now. I've got a hair at the front. One sec. Can you see it? Wait a sec. Hold on. Come on. There he is. You got it? Awesome. Clip it. Wrath of the Lich King. I was no longer a newbie. I could tank. Now let's be honest though. Everybody could tank on a paladin in Wrath of the Lich King. Everything was face roll back then. Don't tell people who want classic Wrath of the Lich King back. Don't tell them that. Heroic's really hard, guys. Really hard. They were. Ooh. Scary. Nax was cleared the first week. The loot flowed. Hey, Nax Ramus Wrath of the Lich King was really hard. Was. And those of you guys who wiped in Nax 10-man or Nax 25 and had to do it hard, you guys did the real progress. Good job. Good job. This... Blizz had made the raid difficulty way too easy. This is when the Wrath babies showed up. Shiny, brand new players. Dreams sparkling in their eyes. And an innocence. Look at you, like you've been through the shit with your crappy vanilla paladin. Like you're some hardened John Rambo motherfucker. And then the Wrath baby showed up. They don't know where I was when I got kicked from Blackwing Lair. They don't know. Their dreams sparkling in their eyes. And an innocence that made them believe that this was the best the game could ever be. I think Wrath of the Lich King is up there. It was a pretty good time. I don't want to be that guy. But I've been playing since vanilla. And I can pointedly declare them to be noobs. And their way they played Wrath of the Lich King was newbie. The Burning Crusade was hands down the best expansion. And anyone who disagrees with this is mathematically a moron. I'm just casting shade though. Everyone has their favourite expansion. Some people even think Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor and or BFA were good. Shudder. We all know they are definitely wrong. You know it, I know it, but they still think they're right. And they likely have some sort of disorder or a panda furries. Look, Mop turned into a fantastic expansion. I will stand by that. Mop started badly. Mop got really good, though. And I will take Ward over BFA any fucking day of the week. My raid leader, Wrath of the Lich King, was also my guildmaster. And they were the most importantly Oh my god. And most importantly, they were in fact a Wrath baby. Their name was Skiz, with some shitty hyphen over one of their letters in his name, which made it fucking impossible to send him whispers that he didn't initiate. I did many roles back in that period of WoW's life. I carried 3 sets of gear. Ooh. And I had nothing going on with my life. So I committed at least 6 to 8 hours a day on the game. Imagine doing that. Wow. Every day. If it wasn't a heroic dungeon with a group of guildies, I was out farming to make epics for guildies so we could replace the ever-revolving door of players every single raid tier. Was it fun? I think so. But I definitely could have been doing something better with my time. Like learning a hobby. Like RL blacksmithing, for example. You went straight to that, really. You went straight to RL blacksmithing. That was it, like the initial thought. Ulduar came and went. And with it, I missed out on Val'anyr, the hammer of the ancient kings. But eventually I would get it by whoring myself to other guilds for my uses. We smashed the raids every tier. Some bosses giving us more trouble than others, but then it came. The big baller himself. The man, the myth, the legend. Arthas Menethil. Ice Crown motherfucking Citadel. The Lich King himself. Skiz was obsessed with Arthas. Ever since he had played Warcraft 3. The rise and fall of the Paladin was his favourite story ever. And there was to be Shadowmourne. It wasn't Frostmourne by any extent of the imagination, but it was a decent knockoff. As close as one could get to having an actual Frostmourne. And he announced to all of the guild that he as GM had decided that he was to be the first recipient of this weapon. The guild agreed. Why not? Raid leader, GM, sure. Except for me. I didn't bring it up straight away. If anyone else did at the time, when it was relevant content, if anyone else played at the time when it was relevant content, Shadowmourne had a huge arse questline of epic story and revisiting some of Warcraft's past. You had to get friendly with the Ashen Verdict, which we all did thanks to the genius idea to go in earlier in the week with 6 to 8 players and just clear trash before Lord Morrigar. I did that, and I really regret it. I did do that. It was a ring, right? Or something? Yeah, we all did that, didn't we? It was the ring. Yeah, Nixie brought it up. Yeah, it was a ring. Loot is loot, dude. Make boss die fast. Go smash quick. Bang, bang. As soon as I had the reputation, I came back in by myself and I snagged that quest from Darian. And made my way to Dragonblight to snatch up the legendary hammer of the fallen Paladin Arthas. Light's Vengeance. I slapped the undead bastard in that cave like the little bitch he was. And now it's important to remind everyone, but my dear Guildmaster Skiz was a Wrath baby. What's one thing most Wrath babies had in common? I don't know. One thing all Wrath babies have in common. Idealism. No skill. Money. Money's a good one. Yeah. Maybe. But it can't be... You know, the problem with money is, Jack, you won't believe this. There are some people who've been playing WoW for like... since launch, right? Legitimately watching this right now, who still have less than 10k gold. We went through this last week. It's insane. It's fucking insane. Been playing this game for like 13 years. You got 10k gold? How the fuck did that happen? How did that happen? I have like 50k. Like, how does that feel attacked? That's like four days of callings, right? Or something stupid like that. Oh my god. Anyway. What's the one thing most Wrath babies had in common? 3. Okay, you've spaced it out. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. They're broke as shit. Right, they've got no money. Okay. They're fucking broke as shit. Or almost all of them. They hadn't had the years to accumulate rare and sought-after items. You guys. Rare and sought-after items and wealth to fall back on like us OGs from the old times. See? See what I'm saying? See? You want a sulfuron hammer? I gotcha. You want enchanted elementium ingots? I can do that too. Was it hard to learn how to make these things? Not a damn chance. Not when the gold is the ultimate shortcut. Between badass old recipes and get your foot in the door welfare epics from Wrath of the Lich King crafting, I was a rich bitch. So I did what anyone in my position would do. I raided the auction house and bought the primordial Saronite that I couldn't afford with badges. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. The same week, I got honoured with the Emo Knights of Ice Crown. And all my base mats I could... I got... Wait a second. This same week, I got honoured with the Emo Knights of Ice Crown. And all my base mats I could outside of raid for the baby axe, the Shadow's Edge. And my GM, Skiz, only had the hammer and one primordial Saronite to his poor Wrath of the Lich King baby cheap-ass name. I put on my top hat, I puffed my bubble pipe, and I twirled my mustache. Figuratively, of course. And I got a spot in my friend's raid with the illuminated pugilists and got my acid bloods. My guild didn't care. I could still DPS. The following week, my scumbag plan came to fruition. Skiz had raided the guild to lend him gold, but he only had managed to scrape together a few primordial Saronite. Me, though? I had Shadow's Edge. I showed up to the raid with my new gleaming toy, already with a couple of souls under my belt from the previous raid. And not a single motherfucker noticed. Not one person inspected me, asked me about my weapon. No one in our entire raid cared. They wouldn't even ask for ages. It wasn't until a couple of months later when Skiz was on 17 or 19 primordial Saronite and me, I casually entered the raid alone again and turned in the quest when no one was on that day after the raid, and I got my last soul. The following raid I made the announcement. Skiz screamed, his anger on par with that of a warrior desperately spamming execute during Berserker Rage. Most of my friends gratzed me and cheers from fellow guildies and said to Skiz, "It doesn't matter. I already got it done, and it didn't take anything from you." But that's not what I said. At this point in time, you can't really expect me to remember the specifics, as he continued to rage at me for getting it before him. He said it was betrayal, injustice, traitor. The guild had calmed him down and said he could still get it. It's fine. It's not taken off you. And maybe I would help him get it. I agreed. But that's back when it cost 1,000 souls to finish the quest after the acids, Saronites and the hammer. So I had time. Needless to say, we raided. I had plenty of time. And the guild wanted those glorious goodies that drop off the Lich King when somebody in the party beats him with the axe. And by this point, we're doing full clears on 25 man. Like a bunch of fucking heroes. I got my unholy infusion first from the good professor. And then the edgelord infusion of blood from the bitchy blood queen. That one, a bunch of the guild had a lot of fun with. When we were bored, sometimes we'd use it to screw over someone in the group that got an item we wanted. It was good fun. Some jokes among our glorious raiding group. Something to gossip about to the casual plebs that filled out the guild roster that got handicapped runs in order older Wrath of the Lich King raids on nights off so we could get them some gear. It wasn't another 3 or 4 raids until I got the frost infusion. But we did it. I did it. I was on the last stretch of the quest. Shadow Frost Shards. These glorious little shards took a couple of additional months to gather. Each one better than the last. Each one step closer. And each one a needle in Skiz's side. It took him forever to get the money and badges to get the baby axe put together. He kept asking me if I had any money. I told him I had spent it all on my axe. And I had none left. By that point, I had no doubt. The acids had eaten a hole in his bags and turned into a brown crud on his boots. The salt was real. Because you could hear it in his voice every time he had to issue one of the shards to me instead of to him. It was then that Skiz did let his jealousy show. I had just gotten my last shard. We had just killed the loot boat. The boat was so easy even 10-man guilds would switch to heroic to face roll it. Instead of saying anything, he changed the guild message of the day. I was not to get the axe before he, as GM, got his. I was mad. Why? What's your problem? I had put all the work in to get it. And as I keyed up to time to go fuck himself, 3 of the officers did it for me. Their names don't matter. I haven't brought them up prior to now because they just don't matter. It was made very clear to Skiz that is absolutely not happening, bro. This was the guild's legendary. Everyone had contributed their time and effort, their sub money to raiding in order to get it. And they would all have a chance at that shiny, shiny treasure box that Arthur's would drop. Again, Skiz popped all his cooldowns and raged on the guild. They didn't understand. This was his dream. Since Warcraft 3. It was his right as guild master and raid leader to be first. And if they wouldn't allow that, then the guild will disband. Was his actual command. Now, as we all know, them shiny, shiny purples and mounts can destroy a guild faster than a squeaker can make a joke about banging your mom in Call of Duty. People didn't seem to care. They just left the guild. A flood of names in the guild chat started leaving. Terrified squeals came from the casuals as they didn't understand what the hell was happening in the first place. They were frightened as they had never seen a guild fall apart before. I laughed. I got G-kicked. And one of the officers grabbed me and the rest of the raiders up. I was surprised how quickly they got a guild going. Well, usually you lose people when this happened, but the promise of that Crimson Death Charger must have been really tempting. Everyone left and regrouped for the raid the same night. We grabbed a friend to replace the GM. And we went on to destroy Arthas with my sparkly new Lego axe, Shadowmourne. I had gems and an enchant sitting in my bag, so I didn't even need to make a trip to the AH and hold up the raid further. We finished. We killed Arthas, and loot was handed out. I didn't care. I had my big orange axe. And with it, I G-quit to join a better guild. I don't know what happened to those friends, or to Skiz. I can't imagine that guild recovered from that night. He lost all his raiders. And then, like a little bitch, and you guys can say it, I transferred servers. I didn't care. I had the axe. I could go anywhere I wanted. And all the time in the world to get all the toys and the mount for myself. Guilty. You know what's funny, before we finish this tale off? Do you know what's funny? In the high-end guilds, and this happened to my guild at the time, never invite somebody who's applying with Shadowmourne. Never. It became widespread knowledge amongst the high-end guilds. If somebody is applying to your guild who has Shadowmourne, deny them immediately. Like, do not bring them into your guild. Anybody who did generally paid the price. Yeah, same thing as Guildless Thunderfury. Those things you do not mess with. Do not mess with somebody who is applying with a current rated guild who has Shadowmourne. Don't do that. That's bad. And plus, they're dead easy to farm. Like, you can get loads yourself. I think for the first couple of weeks after Shadowmournes were, like, gettable, and people did leave their guild to join high-end ones, that's after that, because they were all terrible. They were usually complete idiots every single time. Anyway. Now that I'm older, I hope I didn't ruin the game for Skiz. And I hope he eventually got his axe. I learned much later that I didn't actually care about any of this stuff. Legos are just going to collect dust in the bank after the expansion they were introduced in passes. And I feel bad for ditching the whole guild after all the effort they put into helping me get it. If any of you are watching this, I am genuinely very sorry. I think he's trying to get back in the good books. Thank you, Preach, for your time. And thank you for reading my little story of scumbaggery. I'm sorry I can't be more specific about what was said at the time, but I had a stroke a few years ago. I hope you're feeling better. I'm just not remembering things as well as I used to. But the Shadowmourne still stood out. Interesting. Interesting. Shadowmourne still stood out. Well, we hope you're doing well, and thank you for your tale. You never know. You'd be surprised how far and wide drama does spread when people recognize certain elements. But as for somebody getting Shadowmourne and instantly leaving the guild, not that rare of an occurrence, actually. Not that rare. We had a guy apply when I was in Darkstorm, I want to say. Maybe not. We had somebody apply who actually put in their application that they can't join for 3 weeks because that's when they're getting their Shadowmourne. Or something like that. It was totally insane. It was mental. It's like, why would anybody ever recruit you? You're like applying to the guild before you get Shadowmourne on the basis that you're about to get it. It was so stupid. Like, who would ever do that? Why would anybody accept those people? Jesus Christ. Ugh. Guild hoppers, man. Make me sick. All right, who we got here? Bevmo! As always, our names come from our wonderful members on our website, on preachgaming.com. Thank you all for the support. Especially as we had a little scare like 2 minutes ago where we pretty sure YouTube got entirely demonetized for all of 30 seconds and then came back. Woohoo! Good news. Good news, everybody. Good news. This one is titled The Shot. It's not funny for you, Chris. Not funny for me. I was like, oh my god. Not again. Not again. Shortest raiding career. I did have a panic attack, I did. Shortest raiding career of my life. Okay. The shortest raiding career of my life. Any challenges to this before we read through it? Back in the day, Andy lasted about 20 minutes in a guild. If that. Something like that. That's the shortest I know of, is about... It was either 15 or 20 minutes. Something along those lines before he was removed. Something like that. Anybody got a lower? What's that? Yeah. He knew someone in the guild that he'd fallen out with at some point. Yeah. Some guy recognized him and was like, oh, fuck. It was really funny at the time. All right, let's see. We need a guild name, audience. We need a guild name to go along with this. The shortest raiding career of my life. He might not get kicked. It's the shortest raiding career. Perhaps he's terrible. Who knows? The Silent Assassins. I like it. Preacher and all the lovely folks in your chat. I've been enjoying Drama Time for a while now. I never had the privilege to experience any drama for myself. Whenever my friends tell me their stories about their ex-girlfriends cheating with their cousins, or how their homestay mom wanted to couple a daughter to them because he was European and they wanted to divorce her husband and move them back to Europe to retire there, I can only respond with, well, that sounds like it sucks. And then tell them how I went to the dentist this month and had a cavity, or just tell the stories someone else told me, because nothing really happens to me. But a little backstory in WoW. I started playing for the first time somewhere during Cataclysm with my very first character. A human mage. Ew. I was in awe when I killed Hogger for the first time, and there were all kinds of NPCs spawning in for a scripted event. I never saw anything like that in Maple Story, my original free-to-play Korean MMO. I was hooked. I was going to be great at this game. And I even got an RL friend to play with me, netting me the Obsidian Nightwing and a free month of game time to get me started. Then Outland happened. With the huge build-up, with the evil, menacing portal and a cool-looking layout on the world map, I was ecstatic to finally ding level 58. Then Outland questing came. I hated it. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? You watch your mouth. Yeah? That's mouth with an F. Outland leveling was a godsend. An absolute godsend. I hated it. The quests were so unbelievably boring. Around Blade's Edge Mountains, I couldn't take it anymore. Maple Story was way better. At least Maple Story had amazing music to listen to and fast-paced combat without those stupid casting times. So goodbye, World of Warcraft. You were fun until level 58. I already found a new game to play with my best friend. I was moving on to capture the flag on a Minecraft PvP server. So depressed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, that puts a taste in your mouth. But then around Warlords of Draenor. Round about Warlords of Draenor. I opened a Christmas card, and in it, a €25 gift card. I saw Warlords for that price in discount in the store. Why not? I thought. Why the hell not? I'm going to give World of Warcraft another try. Of course, brand new character. I rolled Horde because I once read on a forum somewhere that the Alliance was for little kids. That's the reason for the Horde Alliance divide right there. Can you point this forum out? It seems to have corrupted, like, I don't know, like 80% of the player base. I decided... Oh, of course you did. I decided a female Blood Elf Rep Paladin on a high pop realm. I leveled her all the way to 100, where it was time for the end game. I'll be honest, I don't know what end game is. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and there doesn't seem to be many clues. I didn't really understand that enemies actually had mechanics. I hadn't really paid attention to the idea of things having cast bars or what they were doing, as I just kind of smacked them. I didn't understand how people could say things like raids were hard, because I had done the raid on Raid Finder, and it had been pretty easy. I'm going to fucking shoot you in a minute. I am. This guy better not left his address, Bex. I swear to God. Would you like to try Stone Legion General's Mythic? Can I interest you in Stone Legion General's Mythic? Can I just throw that out there? Come along. Best night of your life. Best night of your life. You're going to have a blast. You're going to have such a fun time. Oh, it's unreal. Oh, it's so fun. Draven! Can you come? Oh, you can all come. You'll have a great time. It's the best way to spend, like, I don't know, 12 hours a week. It's really fun. Really, really good times. I didn't understand that there was a difference in any gear after it had become purple. I had never seen my item level before. When I changed my spec to Holy and queued for a heroic dungeon because the DPS took too long, I, for the first time, learned about gear having a kind of impact. I spammed the heals that usually healed me as fast as I could, but people just kept dying. Oh my god. Oh my god, you're making everybody hearing this cringe so fucking hard. Oh. It upset me because the people in the party started talking about how I sucked and that I was using DPS gear. I cowardly left the party without saying anything. And I never queued as a healer ever again. Oh, man. But just because I was too afraid to queue as a healer didn't mean I couldn't queue as a tank for Archimonde in HFC LFR. After all, tanks are just DPSs who the boss hits. That's true. Sword and shield, you're good to go, baby. Woo! We're going to do this. Dear God. I was vote kicked shortly after. I didn't know how or when exactly. But at some point in the final weeks of WoD, a whole new game started to open up for me. I started to realise what people were talking about. I started to learn about gear. And I started to become an okay player. Okay, I mean. Just not awful. But I'm okay. Legion, though. A brand new expansion. New chances, new opportunities, a new journey, a new path to walk. I put my Paladin of Shame in the corner and decided to re-roll once more. To a female Pandera Mistweaver monk. Again, I'm okay. I know a little bit about what's going on. I joined a raiding guild that was recruiting in chat and finally understood the appeal of raids. I got curved with them for the Emerald Nightmare and things were going great. My greatest achievement was getting the legendary trinket from Argus. Fuck you, man. Of course you got it. Of fucking course you got it. Of course you got it. Did anybody in my guild get it? No. But you, Mr. fucking Maple Story, are just getting it. Of course you are. Of course you are. Fucking marvellous. Jesus H. Christ. God damn it, man. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. I got my Lego trinket from Argus, after which my final days of the expansion consisted of reminding the guild how I had the legendary trinket and they didn't. Of course that's what you did. Of course you just stuck it in people's faces. Of course you did. But then BFA came, and the dark cloud summoned over the sky. From day one, it just didn't do it for me. Most of my guildies left in pursuit of mythic guilds. Also, my legendary trinket wasn't as powerful now. You kept wearing it into BFA, didn't you? You are the TBC dudes wearing Thunder Fury in the last tier. I no longer had anything to brag about during raid night, so I stopped raiding. I became that person who only renewed their sub when a new patch with more content came out. But then the Shadowlands. I'm more excited now. Everyone's excited. New expansion, new chances. And no more BFA, most importantly. I'm re-rolling again, though. Screw playing healer. I am going to be a huge DPS, mate. Huge! I decided, of course, on the chosen one. An Affliction Warlock. The chosen one? I mean... sure? I guess. Chosen one raid spot. Class! Chosen! Next! Let's find that guild. After looking through countless guilds on WoW Progress, I finally found one called... What did we decide on? I don't know, you fill it in. I forgot one. A heroic guild that raids on a Monday and a Wednesday. That fit perfectly with my schedule. The Tiny Hippos. Fine. I saw them. That's them. The Tiny Hippos. I contacted an officer, and after a short interview, I got my 4-week trial position. It was going to be better than you can imagine. It was going to be everything I could ever want. It's going to be great. And it was great. Shadowlands launch was extremely smooth. Drano. I had no lag at all, even though I was playing on a server that was known in the past for queues. After doing the intro questline and coming into Ouroboros, I called it a day and got some well-earned sleep. And you got the legendary trinket. And you got the fucking Argus legendary trinket. Yeah, it's a long grind, that intro quest to the game. Best go to bed now. The following day was going great too. No issues at all. That was at least until they came home. I'm talking, of course, about the people contributing to society that day while I was playing and muting my professors in Microsoft Teams so I could focus on the dialogue of Bastion. The lag. The idiots who were working all day were now going to play World of Warcraft. Yeah, you fucking mugs. Imagine working all day and playing at night. Ugh, gross, right? So gross. That's disgusting. I can't say I was truly angry about the lag. I was, after all, playing on the most populated server and it sucked now. But I fondly remember it in the future and laugh now how I spent 3 hours in the queue in some days. 3 hours. It was going great. I enjoyed my time while the guild chat wasn't super active. The people were very warm and you could feel that they knew each other very well. There was a personal connection amongst the people of this guild. Then it was Wednesday. That big release, Castle Nathria. Of course, the server was on fire again, but if you managed to get past the black screen character of death and the 10-minute loading bar, it was fine. As long as you didn't loot any items or summon your owl boy. The time arrived for us all. 8 PM is our raid time. That's late for a raid time. 8 PM. Me standing in Castle Nathria normal in front of Shriekwing. Excitement was at an all-time high for me. And then the raid leader spoke. He explained the rules. When we should talk. When was the specific time we were allowed to do feedback. And what was expected from us. And finally, Arok thanked us for letting him lead the group. I liked Arok. He sounded patient, calm, approachable, if I was to use a word. In the beginning, of course, I was quite shy. I'm new here. There was lots of people I didn't know, but as the evening progressed, I talked more and more. At the end of the night, we had reached 3 out of 10. Sure, we wiped on the Hungering Destroyer a lot, but that's all part of the fun and made finally beating him all the better. My DPS numbers, which I thought were going to be awful, weren't even that bad. I didn't get any loot because Shadowlands, but that's okay. That's okay. It was about the journey. Killing all the bosses was fun, and I would have plenty of chances next time for some sweet, sweet purples. I couldn't wait till Monday, because then we can raid again. Monday came. I logged in at 7:30 to get my flasks, enchants, and food ready for that night. Then around 7:55, I've still not been invited, and the chat is awfully quiet, which was odd compared to our last raid. Maybe we weren't raiding tonight. Maybe I got the wrong date or the wrong time. But there it was on the calendar. 8 PM on the dot. Today. This is it. Big raid. The invite list was a lot smaller than I remember. Must be my imagination, I thought. I searched the chat channel. Maybe I missed something, but no. What was going on? Nobody talking. Nobody here. At 8:05 PM, 10 minutes later, y'alls, a green message appeared. Discord, now! All caps. What's going on, I thought? So I joined the Discord. We were in 15 people in the voice chat, including the guild master, Bevmo. Then he spoke up with the last thing I wanted to hear. We're closing the guild. Effective immediately. We're kicking everybody today. It's over. It's been a fun ride. He thanked us all for being in this guild and the 5 years he could be the guild master. But as he said, he was tired. He can't take it anymore. The backstabbing, the nightmares, and all the drama. He said, as you have noticed in the last 5 days, we've all had a huge, huge fight. And as a result, most of the guild has exodused. What fight? What drama? I didn't see anything. I was online. There was nothing in the Discord. There was nothing in the guild chat. What's happening? Where? Where was this happening? It then got very cringe. Oh no. Bevmo started to cry IRL. Oh my god. Oh no. I have to tell you all right now. Listening to a grown man you don't know and have only spoken to once crying while thanking you for all the good times he's had in the last 5 years. It's pretty awkward. Pretty awkward. And that's not something I want to experience ever again. But then another member, Cannell, said he wanted to play a piece on the piano for us that he had written around 5 years ago. He was saving it to when we finished a good tier or we got a bit further as a guild, but he had never had the chance. No meme, and I swear to God this happened. He started playing the piano over Discord. I'm sat here in my fucking headphones with sad piano music playing. I didn't know what to do. Should I leave? Should I just kind of leave the channel? Or do I have to wait for him to finish? I just logged in to wipe on some bosses and laugh with everyone. Why am I now running in circles around Oribos on my Lothian Prowler, feeling like I'm at a funeral with some dude playing a depressed song on the piano? This was not the Shadowlands experience that I had envisioned. Guess you could say that. I don't know how long it lasted. It was probably only a minute or 3. But Cannell finished his song. After that, very much like a funeral, Bevmo asks if anybody has any words to share. No one talks. It's extremely awkward. I actually start feeling really bad for these guys. I feel really bad for Bevmo. I really want to talk, but I don't really know who they are. I don't know what to say. I've only been here since just before the expansion. Thankfully, our piano-playing Chad Cannell speaks up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for all the time we have spent together, all the moments we have shared, and all the memories we have built. I am going to be posting my battle tag on Discord. If you wish to play together, then we can do that. After that, Bevmo thanks us again and leaves the call. As Arok joins the call. He has a little speech for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to be your raid leader so many times in the past few years. It was a great experience. I have learned a lot from my time with you and leading you. He then said he still believes that in the end he did the right thing. He was sorry that he was a part of the cause of the mass exodus, and that those of us left had to suffer for it. I mean, now I'm just really curious what happened. What did happen? You've left me on a cliffhanger now. I should have seen something. After that, my headphone was filled with Discord disconnect sounds, until I finally clicked disconnect too. You remember being at a friend's place and then your friend starts fighting with his sibling while you're just awkwardly watching? That's how the conversation had felt to me the whole time. Now 20 minutes later, everyone started being kicked from the guild one by one. I could see the writing on the wall, so I did a G-quit. And I started writing this. You remember how I opened this story with how I don't really have any drama? I genuinely fucking don't. I swear to you now, I still don't have any drama. This is nothing to do with me. It was just spectacular to be the outsider of watching an entire guild collapse. And I don't know why. I still don't know why. I tried to find out, but nobody wanted to talk about it. And now I end up doing what I always do. I'm telling you someone else's story for all of you to enjoy. Thank you, Mike, for taking your time to listen, and to your wonderful audience. Maybe one day I'll tell you about my trip to the supermarket, where nothing fucking happened. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Goodbye. Well, there it is. There it is. I do wonder, though. We get so many stories. In fact, it's the number one thing. Realistically, it's the number one thing when people come into the chat or they come onto YouTube and they're like, what should I look for in a guild? And one of the biggest pieces of advice we give is check that guild is stable. You can go through. You can look at their logs. Are they actively raiding? Are these a good guild? Are these people you can trust? Because so many times people join as a guild is about to die. And it's very, very unfair that that happens. Well, we are a few minutes short, but our next story is enormous. So I'm going to save that for next week. Because it's got like 7 names in this Bex. Holy shit. This is a big one. This is a whopper. So we'll finish that next time. As I have promised to read to my kids for the next couple of hours. They have books saved up for me. So we're going to do that. I'm sorry I can't. I've got promises to the family. I haven't really seen them all week. So I'm going to go and deal with that. It's happening right now. I'm sorry for that, Shelty. Yeah. Read them this story? Probably not. Probably not. We might be around over the weekend for some streams. There's a wonderful video going up on YouTube, which should be tonight, which is looking at the history of the past expansions during the same period of time. And I think you guys are going to get a big kick out of it. So please feel free to check that out. It should be around about 8 p.m. or around 3 hours-ish from now, hopefully, as long as there's no issues. Other than that, have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you as soon as I possibly can. But at the latest, it'll be Monday. All right? Be awesome. Bye-bye. My kids are my favorite, yeah. I think that's correct. I've checked. That's correct.